So welcome to this video. Today we are going to spend a little time together and we are going to speak about trees. I'm a big fan, as you know, of Edward Segal, and my recent love in Impressionist painting is Marion Wachtel. I don't know if you heard of her. She's an American Impressionist of the 20th century in the 1940s. And I just love the way she is painting, how she uses the atmosphere in her paintings, how she paints the trees, how she simplifies her paintings and still makes them look very beautiful. So anyway, lately I have been working on my trees, and I thought I will go through with you a few points, and for that I'm going to take a little bit of Marion Wachtel painting, and we're going to together work on this painting, and I will give you not Marion Wachtel's thought on it, but my thoughts, how I approach the trees, and the idea behind how to paint trees so they would look like trees, full and big and majestic. So this is nothing to do with Marion Wachtel, other than we are going to take one of her paintings to paint a tree, and we are going to use this to go to the point with trees. So I will turn around and start painting, and we are going to maybe in between analyze some other trees, images, and talk about 2 or 3 things. So get comfortable and let's go and paint this together. Okay, so I will put in the beginning, I will put the image here, the image that I take some elements from. It is not, I am not painting, I'm not sticking to the image. I am painting mainly this tree, and all the rest will support this tree. It is not the same as in the picture, so don't give me any comments on about, well, it's not like the picture, blah blah blah. We are not interested in the picture itself. We are interested today on how we are painting a tree, and that be any tree, so it looks real on a painting. Okay, so that's my first point. My second point, I'm just painting on a bit of cardboard here, which I gessoed, and I started to do my drawing on top of it, just in pencil. I thought we would win a little bit of time because there is much to say. Then we are going to talk about the colors. So the colors are, here I have a mix of titanium white and zinc white, half and half. Why? Because titanium white is opaque, zinc is transparent or semi-transparent depending on where you get it from, and so I will have a white who's not going to be as chalky. If you mix it together, it will be archivable, no worries. Don't worry about the brittleness of zinc. You are mixing it with titanium white, so it will be absolutely fine if you want to archive your paintings. Next, up we have an orange that I made with my Pyro red. It can be any red, it can be a bright red. I also use often permanent red. Today I decided I use a Pyro red. It doesn't matter which red you're using as long as we have a warm red. And I mixed it with my lemon yellow cadmium here to have an orange, only to be able to desaturate some of my greens quicker. I could use raw umber, of course, to do that, even some yellow ochre, but just in case I've got a bit of orange here. Then we have alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, and burnt sienna. Burnt sienna here, raw umber. These are my two earth tones. Here we have yellow ochre, and here we have golden ochre. Okay, I don't usually use golden ochre. It's a color that I just want to mess with. Maybe I won't even use it today, I don't know. But the other colors will be on the palette. Often it is called a split palette because you got two of each primaries, and here I just made a secondary color. So why two of each primaries? So I'll have a cool and a warm every time. Cool, warm, cool, warm, cool, warm, and therefore I can change warm up or cool down my colors effectively quicker. Other than that, you don't need to have split palettes. You could just use a yellow, a red, and a blue, and it would work quite well. Of course, you would have to know really how to mix your colors. Okay, so now we are done with our colors, and we talked about this, a few brushes. So there will be a few brushes, flats and filberts from, what's the size here, from number 1 to number 3. And here is a number 4 as well. That's a SHIRAZ, so synthetic. These are hog bristles. So I will see what I need when I need it, and we may change brushes. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of medium, just a bit of oil here. Oil with a little bit of liquid mixed in, just a little bit. Here we go. So when we paint trees, it is often that we want to go to the leaves, we want to go to what we see on top, but we really need to start with what's inside of the tree. What's inside of the tree, and then build up to the outer layer. It is easier to build a mass of a tree than start with leaves. You can put leaves on if you want afterwards, but to start with you want the building blocks to work. So you want to put all the chance on your side to have a tree that is acceptable in a painting. And this is now a way that I paint trees, and it's a simple way, and I want to get this across for you, because once you get this, you will be able to paint any trees. because it is in effect very simple. We want to make it difficult, but it is very simple if you respect just a few rules. So I will talk you through as I paint, and I will think aloud so you can go into my head and understand my process when I paint a tree. Next, we will start with the main subject, as we're not too tired yet, as we're just starting. Just the main subject, and there is a couple of ways to start. You can separate, as you can see on the picture. On one side we have the darks, and on the other side we have the lights. So you could paint the whole tree in darks and put the light on top of it. Now, for if I had multiple facets on this tree, I would do that, just to simplify to start with my painting. But here we have a clear side with darks and a clear side with lights. So what I will do, I will do my darks first and then do my lights on the mid-tone. Tone who's a bit darker than the finish that we can see on the image, and then on top of it I will put the highlights. So we will have the light, which is very important. Let me grab an exercise that I've done just a few days back, just to explain that light and dark situation. It was of the similar tree as this one, as I'm full on into Marion Thatcher at the moment. Watchel, sorry. So this tree here, you have, so the darks, of course that's a finished tree, so you also see some other greens in there, which is the reflected light. So you have, of course this is in French as well, I will translate it for you. So you got the plan, the light plan, you got the half-tone plan. So if you look closely, you have here the light, and here you have a half-tone. So you have the light here, and you have a half-tone. So the half-tone is what I'm going to paint here first, and the darks on this side. Then I'm going to come over that to paint the lights, which will give you dimension to the tree. Okay, and that's all I wanted to say. So basically, a tree, if you respect 4 criterias, you will get a tree. You will have to respect the light, the halftones, the shadow, and the reflected light that you have from the soil, from the floor up to into the tree. Okay, so that's it. Once you keep that in mind, you can paint any tree. Okay, so in one hand I will have a paper towel. I don't always wear gloves, it depends. And we will start with the tree, as I said. And I will have for sure 2 brushes that I'm going to take as far as I can. So we'll have 2 brushes, one for the light, one for the dark. So I will start the dark, and for that I will take this light. I dip into my oil mixture here. I wipe the excess. Now get some ultramarine blue. This is the darks that I'm preparing there, and some burnt sienna. So we will find a dark, nearly a black, but it's a dark brown. And I want it to be more like a brown, so I will add some yellow ochre or even some golden yellow. Also to green it up a little bit. Okay. This is not quite dark enough, so we'll add some more. Okay. Now I think that yeah, I will do a shot later on. The shadow, it is better if you, so it's a little greener. Let's add a bit more blue and a touch of cool. And a bit more. Now, okay, that's all right. So I keep the shadows thin, and I play between that green and that brown. Just for variety, but it is what am I what's the word I'm looking for? It is just for variety with the same value. Ooh. So here I can go a little, so this is browner. And now we have there just a little bit greener. We're getting a little bit greener. Now we get into so I've gone quiet, but notice every stroke here I do on the outer side of the light rim, you know, where that light, that sky hole is going to be, because there will be a shadow all the time to emphasize that 3D of the tree. And sometimes I even outline the outer side a little bit. Some strokes they will disappear when I put the light on. So see how I outline a little bit the tree? As I said, most of it will disappear once I put the light on. So darks here. Green here. I don't know if that second light is doing us any good because of the glare, so I will switch it off and we'll make do with this one. I think that will be much better. Yes, it will. When it is too light, you don't see what you're doing. Here you see more the nuance of the paintings, of the painting that I put on. Okay, so this is all done. We have got quite a bit of dark here. That's dark is done here. So all on the belly, dark here is done. Everything on this side is done. There we'll have a bit of dark. We can get that light around here. Here we go. Okay, so now that this is done with, let's do the light. So I'm going to put this brush down get the other brush and put the light, and I will put the light here. I use a little bit of what I had here, and remember, it's not going to be the light that we have on top. It will be the light, the intermediate light, so a little darker, and the light will go on top. Okay, so is that dark enough? A little darker than that. Let's add a little bit of burnt sienna in that to darken a bit, and that looks better. Yes, let's just finish that little pile there. So now this is the sky hole, here, here and here. Yes, here, here and here. Okay. Okay. Here we need a dark. Here we need to green this up a little bit. In here we need the dark that we didn't put in. Okay, so now carry on. Going to do a bit more of that mixture. Okay, and we are going to go there, maybe a little bit more blue on here. That's a bit too much, but maybe it will do. Yeah, I think it will do. Just because we go down, and therefore it will be a little cooler. I know there's loads to think about when you do a painting. But believe me, after a while it will become second nature, and you will enjoy it more and more. Okay, so here now, a little bluer as we go down there. Okay. Here. Okay, so now I will just break up that sky hole a little bit. It's was too square, and here as well. Round this up a little bit. Here as well I will do a very very green note here. It's too dark. Okay, that will do. Here, there we have a bit less of a sky hole actually. There is no sky hole. Do I want to leave one in there, or do I leave this one? And yeah, actually I leave this one and take this one off. A little light on this one, as we are not too light. Okay. Fewer sky holes will be better, and not one looks like the other, so that's good. That's what we want. Okay, so we got dark, we got light, all right, and we got the dark within the rim of the light where it is needed, not everywhere, but where it is needed. So now I'll put this down. You following so far? For the details, we will see that afterwards. Right now, I'm just doing dark, light. Okay. Now I'm going to do the trunk, and then I'll move up to this tree, and when I'm done this tree, we'll do the sky and move down. Okay. And of course in between I will have a break. But already you see how very rapidly you get a tree. From there, if you wanted to, you can. Nothing stops you from I'm not doing it now, but I'll just put it something. I don't want all that dark here. Or here, I want to break it up a little bit. Actually, I want to break the whole thing up, but we can do this later as well. Okay. I'll do the rest later. But it was too much here for my eyes. So what was I saying here? Nothing stops you from, once you've done all your tree, add some leaves afterwards. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to do the trunk and then I go on to this one. So I keep that dark and light for now, and I'm going to use another one, KLEIN, to do the trunks. So the trunk is a grey brown. So to do that, I'm going to use the ultramarine blue. Let's go down here. With all that, if I add a bit of white, I should be having a grey. Have you seen that? Have you seen how grey we are here? So I've got part of the light there. Now here, I need to be darker and a little browner. So let's start with a little bit of dark sienna. Now, I need to have it a little darker, so I'm going to add some ultramarine blue. And I think for the trunk, I'm not too bad here. Let's have a look on how this goes there. And I'm not bad. We can't make up any color there, but I'm not bad. So let's just have a touch more of the sienna. Maybe a touch of yellow to get that brown to pop a little bit more. Be just a touch less dark. A little bit more. Okay, now we're not far. Okay, I'll do the trunk, that's okay. And I will put the light on top. So I'm not worried right now for the light. I'm just concerned on how I'll put in my trunk the way I see it in my mind or on a picture. Or, of course, if you paint on location as well. Often the trunks are brown-green, yeah, of any tree. I say often because it's not, again, it's not a rule. But often that is the case. So right now we paint everything flat. And if it's not straight, if there is some bumps like here, it's even better. Because you have no trunks are completely straight. There is always So here needs to be a bit thicker. Okay, and just a touch thicker here. Something going on here, something going on there, but I will put that something going on once I put the sky in. Okay. Okay. So that is about it for the tree. Light is going to come later. This trunk is lighter, so now what I have to do is I'm going to get up a stroke with this before I forget it. There we go. And that one too. Alright, so it looks a bit better, but of course we got to put the sky on. Okay, so now concentrate on this tree. So with the same brush, so I'm not going to, you may, I'm not going to get hundreds of brushes out. I try to limit my brushes. And to paint with some dirty colors is a good thing anyway. We should get used to it. So let's shall I do a trunk first? I've got a shadow and mainly a silver line. Will I use that same brush? Yeah. So silver line. That could be the silver. That could be the shadow. My silver line will be. I'm going to use this. It is quite bright. I'm not inventing it. I'm going to add a little bit of medium to it. It is brighter than that. Okay. Now we're getting to it. And I'm just testing it here. Yeah, that's as white as it goes, and it can go whiter. Okay, let's get the excess off. Let's add a little bit more medium there. I'm going to flatten my brush. And we are going to paint the tree. So that video, of course, will be rather long. But who doesn't like a long video, eh? If it's too long, just go to the points that you're interested in. You don't have to watch it all. I know most of you don't watch it all anyway. Get what you need of it, and that's it basically. As long as you get something out of it. I'm not going to try too hard on this tree. We will have a picture that's pleasing to the eye, but I'm not. That's not the main tree. I'm just going to show you how things can work, but that's not the main tree. So some more white can come into that, but before I do that, and if I do that, I don't know, I will get the darks on of this same, and the dark is quite grey actually. That's too grey, so I will add it to this. It's a little too dark. Not everywhere, and we'll add maybe a bit of light afterwards. Now the foliage, yeah, I will have to foliage orange. See, I knew it'd come handy. And we're gonna start here with maybe the darkest part. Yes. Again, it will be on this side. So we can get the dark here. Okay, and then the light on top of it. So use this again. I touch the grey. Okay, I will come back. So it's a little brighter. After I've put the sky in. But just look at the form that I'm having here, just with that shadow I'll put these in later. Okay, sky. Let's put the sky in, and then we come back to the tree. First, I will have a break. Okay. Again, in the sky there are some clouds which I'm not going to put because of the timeline, but also we are talking here specifically about trees, not clouds. So I will do just a light sky. So for that, I'm going to take quite a bit of white here, add in a bit of cobalt blue, and it will be light, it won't be a dark sky. Maybe just like that, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe a touch darker. Especially the top. Okay, I think that will do. I'm going to take a round brush for the sky. Just because you can load quite a bit in a brush like this. And we are not going to mess about too much about the sky. I'm going to come back to the edge of the tree in a minute. For now, I just want to fill in that sky. Don't mind if it doesn't look too pretty, because this is not what it is about. We're going to go lighter there from here. First I'm going to do come around the tree as close as I can without touching it. We do not want a green sky. Well, green can be nice in the sky. Green can be actually very nice in the sky. Okay. The earliest brushes were round brushes, yeah. Painters like Leonardo, Raffaello, and Michelangelo Okay, I'll leave it like that. as I have to touch anyway the edge of the trees. So yeah, I was saying those painters, they the only brush they had is a round brush, so they did everything with that brush: the trees, the figures, everything. They didn't have all the brushes that we have today. And to be honest, that brush is very versatile. It does everything. I often just paint with a round brush. Okay, now let's lighten it. A little bit more white here, straight on the brush. A little bit of medium. Is that light enough? Yes, it is. Maybe I could warm it as well. What is happening in the picture? Is it getting warmer down there? A little bit, a touch. So let's put a touch of warmth in that. Yeah, it's always nice anyway. Okay, now it is going around here. Maybe I get a smaller brush for the sky horns, actually. Yeah, I will do that. So bear with me. I just got another round, but smaller. Okay, so now okay, it takes a bit of patience, but in the end, we get there. Okay, it gets darker blue soon there. if it bleeds a little bit sometimes, actually that's not a bad, especially on this in the secondary tree there, because we don't want it as sharp anyway as this first tree. Yeah, we don't want it as sharp. Okay, I will now address the sky holes. Okay. Okay, so quickly we are going to put the distance mountain. I will not go into details. I will leave that quite blur because we are actually straying away from the trees. But first, I said I'm going to put the sky holes in there. Darker, often darker. And then if they get a bit muddy, that doesn't matter at all. Actually adds to the effectiveness of the sky holes. Because there will be like some leaves coming through it anyway. There we go. So now the background mountains there, I will add a touch of red in that. And white. I will add more blue on this side in a minute, but for now this is the color that I want here. that branch is a bit thicker there. I will do that in a minute, or should I not? Actually, no. Let's leave it thinner. Okay. I want to get lighter there. It's darker than the sky, but lighter than over there, to really have the effect of receding in the distance. Okay. Now we get a little darker again. Bluer over there, not too dark. Okay, it's not too bad. Also, this is now bluer. Okay, and just before we light her again, we're in here. Okay. Okay, and now we get into grass and all that sort of thing, but still light. So there will be bushes, so let's have that here. So they are quite dark. Okay, so it's just to get something together there. Some lines will be straight there, some lines a bit curved, and now there's the tree here. In the dark, so I'm going to use, yeah, I'm staying with that same brush actually. I'm just going to clean it, wipe it, more than clean it. I'm going to wipe it and take some of that dark here, which is now a little too dark, but acceptable, I think. Okay, and then And let's go and have some maybe here a bit bluer. Blue and lighter. Okay. Et l'ombre, il la faut un petit peu plus forte. Donc On remet un petit peu. Sinon on n'a pas le contraste, hein, si on ne le fait pas assez fort. Voilà. Ok. Et ici, ben, ça vient. Je vais refaire donc un trait net ici, puisque on regarde vers le bas.
My apologies, I just realized that I reverted to French. What I was saying is about the foreground, which has to be warmer, so it will read as a foreground. Okay, that's all I was saying. Apologies again.
Voilà. Okay, so I'm so engrossed that I'm between English and French. Okay, never mind. We have to go just a little thicker here. So now I will put the highlights in here and the highlights on the trunk. I'm not touching anything else. We're just going to work on that tree, and that will be it for this video, which has been quite long. I'm sorry about that. So now I'm going to take some of that yellow, put it in there, some of that blue, okay, that is a bright yellow, is too bright, it's okay. Let's add a little blue to it. I think that maybe would do the trick. That would do the trick, see? That's light enough. So now I'm going to lay the light onto this tree. And you will see here between the light and the dark, it adds a new layer . And this is what is giving the form to your tree. Okay. And in the shadow, so you see you've got the light, you've got the intermediate light, and we got the shadow, and in the shadow I am going to put some, I lost my brush, okay, use this one. I'm going to put some intermediate greens. The same way I did it here, it will highlight this. Let's use a bit of cobalt blue. It will highlight, oh, don't overdo it. And maybe sometimes a little bit lighter here and there, just so that we think that the light could be catching just here. And the same here. Okay, but not too much. Let's come over here, do the same. So there we have no big light touching because the shadow is still there from this side there. Okay. And of course, so now I revise, I'll give it a couple of lighter strokes there, just here and there. That's it. Okay, now we'll have to get lighter strokes, and I'm going to use this brush who's a little bit softer, and just now play with some of the, see for instance here I'm going to have a soft edge. Here is a hard edge, we keep it. Then this one is going to be soft. And this one is going to be soft. This one will be soft. So we can add some of that blue in here as well. Very light. Okay, that's too hard here. There we go. So I can leave hard and soft edges here. And add some kind of a leaf every so often if I want to, like this. But again, we can't overdo this. I okay. And by doing that sort of thing, we are creating kind of like some leaves every so often. As long as I stay here in the middle, go a little lighter here and there. There we go. And all of a sudden we find some okay, now we're going to do the other side. I dirty my brush here a little bit and do the shadow side. I don't want many hard edges in the shadows. Go. I could also do that when the painting is dry. I don't have to struggle here to go step by step and very slowly. I could let this dry and come back and do this, but for the sake of this video we're not going to. The important thing is to have soft edges and hard edges. Okay, so If something is too hard edge, I will destroy it. You can leave a few, but it's a tree. Although the mass itself is solid, the rest we want a leafy type, you know. I don't want something too hard here, too harsh for what's the thing I'm looking for a bird to come and break his wings. I don't want that for him. Here I need to darken a little bit as well. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. I'll leave it like that. I'm going to add the yeah, so it's with the light on there, and then we call it a day, I think. Put the light on this tree, and yes, and leave it to that. I may, what's the name I'm looking for? I may nothing. Let's do this. Let's do this. You see how to build this anyway. The light is again a grey brown here. And grayer. Let's get my stick, if I can find it. It is time to have a bit of order in here. I can't find my stick. Panic's over. It's there. Let's go about So the brightest is here. And then it's getting less light. That's when we repair also all those things who have been broken, like here, see? Okay. Yeah, I put just touches of dark like that. And that makes often the tree pop, the pop tree. Okay, a bit more light now. Here and there, not everywhere. And here we are. A bit of shadow as well, here and there. Here, for instance, that would be quite shadowy. Here, with that clump coming down. Here would be quite shadowy as well. Maybe just something like that in the back. This can reach here again, and this can get lost out there. Okay, there we are. Here we're going to merge this together. There we are. Okay, so there would be lots more to do in terms of the whole picture, but for the tree we're not bad. I could add a few more darks maybe, but I will leave it like that. Yeah, I'll leave it like that for now. Okay, so the idea was to have a good structure for a tree with curves, S curves, C curves, straight, have a mass, a volume of the light, a volume of the dark, and when you put all this together with halftones, highlights, reflected light, and your shadows, you get a result who looks like a tree. Okay, so on that note, I will leave you there. Thank you very much for sticking with me, and I wish you happy painting, and I see you soon for another tutorial. Maybe we could add, not maybe, I will add before you go, just to look a little, I will add a branch that goes through there. And one here as well. There we go. Yeah, like that. That's okay. Okay. Oh, I will get that just a touch thicker here. There we go. That's better. Okay, that's it. I'll leave it alone. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon for hopefully another tutorial. And I can't help myself. I really need to get this branch off the course here and get lost here somewhere. There we go. This could have been just a touch more rounded as a branch. Than that. Okay. Don't fiddle too much with what I just did there. Bad example. And repaired. Okay. So this time I'll leave you to it. Happy painting and see you soon for another video.